Welcome to the 20-ish episode. I don't remember which one. 23rd, I think.
Accurate.
23rd episode of Us Watching Us, which is a series of live streams that we do that then get uploaded to YouTube. And they are videos where we watch videos that we made back in the day. And in this case, we're watching them chronologically. So in this case, we're going to be watching some from this time that we visited Cambodia on a trip around the world. And it would have been in spring 2010. But spring doesn't count in Cambodia because there's no seasons. It was hot time 2010.
Yeah,
I think it was.
hot time.
I think it was technically North America spring. And I think the Cambodia videos are going to be. We're going to watch half of them today and half of them tomorrow. Because we didn't.
Next week.
Next week, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, next week.
I was like, I did not know.
And
We were doing this tomorrow.
Because we didn't film that much in Cambodia. I don't think we were there very long. I think we were only there like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, that's pretty short.
We're going to be getting into the beginning of the Cambodia videos, and then we're going to get into some like hyper depressing, scary shit that we filmed when we were in Cambodia. And it's going to be interesting to go back and look at that and see how we went about filming that. Because I remember when we were filming it, we knew we had to kind of be a little more like cognizant of the way we were like doing things, because it's not a happy-go-lucky thing. Like we're talking about genocide, and it's like a recent genocide where the people who are living there went through it. So you got to be like, I do remember when we filmed, like when we were filming that and stuff, being like, okay, this has got to be kind of like, how do we make this not like this is a different gear? It was a different gear.
Just present this material?
How do you present this material and what you've learned and stuff like that,
and not make it seem like slapstick is the wrong way to say it, or it might be the right way to say it. Like, how do you just not be cheesy in that depressive realm? Like it's too easy to look like an asshole. I remember again when we went to Croatia, and we went to the war-torn part of Croatia. That was another time where it was like, I'm like gonna like really make sure I understand the basics here before I try to regurgitate them. I just don't know. You got insensitive. You don't want to be insensitive. And it'll be interesting to see if I feel like we nailed that or not, because it was quite amateurish, these older videos. So I just don't know. I don't know what we're getting into here. I've been a little worried about these, to be honest, to rewatch them. I just don't want to. I don't want to feel like about like them or whatever. Computer stuff, man. Anyways, so how can I be able to maintain? I've been having computer problems if you are just tuning in. I think it just went to sleep because of time. Anyway. Man, I'm getting stuck in some of the thoughts from things that I saw while we were there.
Yeah, it's bad.
I can really get stuck in those thoughts of, not even just thoughts, just images pop into my head, and they are overwhelmingly ununderstandable. Terrible. That's the string of words that you need for some of the stuff.
So I think the first thing that we should do is break open the map and give everybody an idea of where we're at.
Well, we did in Lingua. We did talk about the Marvin biscuits. That seemed
a little insensitive.
a little insensitive.
Okay. Other mouse. Okay, cool. All right, so we had just finished going through Laos. We spent a month in Laos during that time period, and we crossing the border in the south area down into Cambodia. So the first place we went to, I believe, is Bon Bong, is the place that we ended up landing in, because it's kind of close to the border. And then we will be working our way down to the capital city of Cambodia, Phnom Penh. So that's what's going to be covered in these two videos, or tonight's videos. I think there's like 5 of them or something. Some of them are kind of short. And then next week we'll be picking up in like Siem Reap and stuff and going up into that area before we make our way over to Bangkok.
What picture does it show for Phnom Penh?
Phnom Penh?
Oh, just
it's like a cityscape.
Oh, there's more.
I don't know how to...
Oh, if you push right, then you can...
Cityscapes. Oh, that's like the palace. It's like some sort of like, not imperial, maybe it's an imperialish, but like a I think there's a kingdom there like back in the day. I'm not sure if it's still I know very, very little about Cambodia. Like, I feel like it's one of the countries we went to where I took away like the stories about the things that we saw and stuff like at those that we'll be seeing tonight, but I don't feel like I got a really good grasp of Cambodia in general. I don't think we were there long enough.
I remember you scaring me.
I did scare you. That was pretty good.
That was not good. It was already a difficult, strange kind of weird experience.
How far into the trip are we? That's a good question. Let me look.
180 days.
Oh yeah, you did just say that in the last episode.
Yeah, in the last episode.
Yep. So
I had marked
6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. There we go.
Okay. Good memory. Okay. Let's jump into the first episode here, and it will be starting with us entering Cambodia and then checking out that little area that I remember very little of. All I remember about that is swinging on the vine. Do you remember this?
I kind of remember.
I remember swinging on a vine in a jungle.
Like you should be doing this.
Yeah. Let's see.
29 in Phnom Penh.
Temperature?
Yeah, it's 6:30 there.
Okay, yeah, this is episode 23 of Us Watching Us. But it is the 50th episode. Oh, it was Bon Long. Is that what I said?
No, you clicked on a Bon Bong.
Bon Bong. Maybe it's the same thing and just spelled differently.
That name didn't ring any bells, but the one you just said.
Let's look it up. I guess that one. Oh, that's Vietnam. Whoops.
Yeah, it was. There was another one above it. Yeah.
Okay, so we went like way over there. If I remember, I guess I don't know where we crossed into the country. Probably here, because there's like a major road there.
And we had to cross a bridge.
Yeah, we walked across a bridge. I thought.
No, it wasn't. We didn't walk. We were on a bus.
No. That was leaving Cambodia into Thailand.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
Okay. So, yeah.
Good thing we're watching these videos so I can clear this up.
This is where we went, and then we'll be going down to Phnom Penh in this video. I do remember this bus ride. Do you remember anything about this bus ride?
Mm-mm.
This should be fun.
Okay. I have audio.
Cool. Can you guys just let me know that you guys have audio too? And we'll just get going, and hopefully you have audio. What are you doing?
Crossing the Lao border into Cambodia.
So right now we're standing on the line.
Yep.
This is what the line looks like if anybody's curious.
We have arrived. Oh, none of that was blurred.
Our passport numbers are in there, in that shot.
It's probably a really old passport.
It's not our current passports anymore, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I just didn't give a shit then. Nobody was watching this stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an idiot.
You had shown one that was blurred.
Yeah, the picture that I put up last week. I showed that, and it was blurred.
Yeah. Sometimes it's different.
Whoops.
All right, what do we got going on here?
You're probably going to talk about the bus ride. That would be my bet.
Okay. Today I sat on a bus and I hopped into the back seat next to a woman with her kid. And pretty much about 45 minutes down the road, she allows the kid to squat on the floor of the bus and go pee on the floor of the bus, where my feet are and where people's stuff is. And it's a pretty big eye-opener. I really couldn't believe that lady was allowing her kid to piss on the floor of the bus. We were no longer in a bus anymore. We were in a portable toilet. It was pretty disgusting. So
yeah. This is funny too. So I remember you were sitting away from me. for some reason we couldn't sit next to each other. I don't know what happened, but we weren't sitting right next to each other. I was on the other side of the bus, and I remember the kid peeing on the bus and you telling me like pick up your bags. I remember you like get your bag off the floor. Because like my bag is just like on the floor between my legs or something. And lots of people had stuff on the floor.
Yeah, there was.
And this kid's piss is just all over everybody's stuff.
I mean, we ended up going to China, which has some similar shit, but
there's a difference between
fucked up.
There's a difference between cultural differences and just come on now.
Nasty.
You know what I mean? Like that's nasty. I'm sorry. It's like not a cultural thing. That's just nasty. It's like inexcusably nasty.
I mean, who knows how long the kid had to go or whatever. Like,
you could wrangle up a bottle or a bag or something. Hang that shit out the window. You know what I mean? Hang your baby out the bus window. There are other solutions.
Yeah, that does.
I guarantee the bus driver would rather stop than have baby piss all over his bus.
Yeah, true. You about to have a good snack.
We still talk about this.
Yeah, we do still talk about this. Every time you get one of those
gummy,
cruddy gummy
jellies.
Yeah.
Today we have a sweet tooth and we went and got a bunch of candies. And we got one that is also sold in Thailand, which really isn't very special. But we also got these ones that have Chinese writing on them and they just say jelly candy. And thus far, at first they weren't that great. I'm not continuing to eat them. Eric's still pretty interested in them. He's chowing down on them. But the last one that we found might stop that. That is a bug. Seriously, an ant. A gigantic ant.
Did you keep eating? Do you remember?
Yeah. I think I finished the polished off the bag. I think
But did you investigate?
Yeah, I was looking at them. You know what I mean?
You can see the ants in there. Although it does seem like you took a bite out of that one.
I don't even know what to say. That ant was not having a good day that day. Or he's
no more days.
You gonna eat it?
How's a view of sugar heaven? No.
Do it.
No.
Do it. Don't be a dick.
Bite the soap.
Bite the soap. Give me the goddamn bug.
What? What's going on here?
Crushing cans.
Wow.
He's just driving back and forth across this pile of aluminum cans. I'm assuming to compress it down. It's gonna take a while.
Yeah, this guy he's got the wrong tool.
Yeah, I think a lot of my memory of Cambodia at that time was a lot of people were using the wrong tool. I mean, just like economically, Cambodia is pretty not that well off, especially even compared to like if you're in Thailand and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like he's got a lot more cans width than he does wheel width. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm surprised they didn't come up with a system of like maybe like putting the cans all on a line or something, or you know what I mean? Like the width of a tire. I don't know. But anyway, so that it seems like he's going to burn more fuel than he's going to get out of the advantage of crushing the cans.
Yeah.
We are at Boang Yek Lam, which is a crater lake in Cambodia, very close to Ban Long. And we're not sure whether we're at the top of a mountain that used to be a volcano that now has a crater lake, or if we are in a crater formed by a meteorite.
If I recall, nobody knows. Like I think it was like when you said we don't know, I think you were talking about like the royal we. Like all of the Wii's. I just remember reading someplace. Maybe somebody knows now, or I don't know. Maybe the internet's got the information. But like, was it a volcano or was it a impact site?
There's a theory that that's what it is because it is almost a perfect circle, which might be hard to tell from this video, but it's quite circular.
I swam out to that little thing.
Yeah, I remembered something like that.
The water, it's cold, but it's warm at the same time. Like, it's not freezing in any way, shape, or form.
There's like little bugs chewing on our feet or something.
Eric is getting in. And, is that nice?
Look how clear it is for a lake.
It's impressive.
Nice.
And oddly enough, it smells like licorice around here.
You did.
I'm worried about this lake.
Yeah.
Lobsters.
What?
There's little lobsters. I saw them.
You know you sound crazy. You gonna get back in?
Probably. It feels absolutely amazing. Like, I didn't even jump into a body of water, just to, I don't know, air. Wetter air.
Yeah, those little guys.
Yeah, I was freaked out. Oh, those are like the ones that like to do the electronic dance on
Yeah, maybe
TikTok.
they are.
Wow.
Bugs are kind of all over the place. We've seen them in a couple of different places.
This is cicadas.
It looks like they just like latch onto the rock. And it looks really, really bizarre. It's just a crazy, I can't
Yeah,
remember this somewhere. They're pretty big.
it does look like the husks of,
Cicadas.
yeah.
That's a lot of water pressure.
She said it's really creepy. It is pretty creepy in there.
Dragonfly nymph shells. Oh, okay. Dragonflies, really?
So Eric told me that it was kind of scary inside the waterfall, and from the outside it looks really, really cool. Once you get in here, it looks like this.
Whoa.
Oh.
Okay.
2 feet away from these caves of God knows what. It's pretty intimidating, but very cool.
Katie's gonna do a power shower. Back up! Keep going! Keep going!
It's really slippery.
Come on, just do it!
How many times can I say that and win?
I don't care.
Not only can you get underneath the waterfall and enjoy it and stuff like that, there's also this extremely bouncy bridge that little girls are running across and scaring the shit out of us. Ka Tayang, I think is what this waterfall's called. It's very, very cool.
Wow, that's really pretty.
We've been in there.
You've gotten out of the very, very cool thing. You used to say that kind of like that phrase all
It's
the time.
very, very cool.
Yeah, it's hard to, words are hard. This is
Oh my
what Cambodia
God.
reminds. Like, this is
This
kind of what I
color.
remember. This dirty red color is like very distinct part of Cambodia in my head.
It kind of, yeah, there was a similar color in Laos, but
You see
Cambodia
like
had
heavier
more.
levels of it for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like dusty.
I can't see.
whoa.
Am I holding the camera?
I don't know.
Waterfall in the jungle. Kind of neat, actually, all the vines and stuff hanging. And got my legs hanging off the edge.
Think about if I had fallen.
I don't want to.
Like, first off, how would have you ever gotten me out of that area? You wouldn't have commuted. We didn't have a phone. There was no. I remember there was nobody else around us. Like we were alone out in this jungle. If I had fallen, and then let's pretend that you could get me someplace. Can you imagine what hospitals are like in rural Cambodia?
This is the correct face of what would be happening.
It would be a bummer, man. Anyways, YOLO. You can see how dirty my foot is from all the
From
dust.
Cambodia.
Yeah.
Bit of a fall. We're now behind the waterfall. You don't have to swim up to get to it. It's just got a big ledge that falls over.
I feel like I swung on those vines. Something. Was it
Yeah.
here?
And I remember you screaming like a little bitch.
Okay, so all of the rest of the videos that we'll be watching tonight are from Phnom Penh. So give me a second here, and I'll load them up. So this is the capital city.
I think they could use a stoplight here.
Look at this, man.
Bicycles and... I remember like we'd been in like we'd been in Jakarta, and we'd been in Bangkok and Chiang Mai and all these like, you know, substantial cities in Southeast Asia. I remember getting here and being like, the traffic here is on another level. I remember crossing the road being like, I mean, we know how to just flow through here, but I remember being like, this is leveled up in complexity.
I could just watch this for hours.
I know. It's like mesmerizing.
I got the lookout 9.
There's no taxis. You
Oh,
notice
and
that?
now we're getting involved?
Yeah, we walk across the street. I know
That
it
was
exists.
awesome.
Pedestrians do not have the right to make
It's not so bad. It's 100.
How do you cross? It's like water. You just like flow into it like water.
And everyone is flowing around you
Yeah.
like you're a rock in their water.
The way that the driving situation in those really chaotic places works is you just don't hit things in front of you. If nobody hits the thing in front of you, then it all works, right? Like that's how it works. It's kind of like skiing. If you're a skier or snowboarder, like the rule is you don't hit the thing in front of you. So it looks chaotic, but when you're in it, it's not that bad. But of course, the first time you're jumping in, it can be a little bit like, what is happening?
I have no idea why we would be videotaping these random people.
You see Chinese motorbike pulling a trailer full of people.
Okay, it's not about them. It's about the
Transportation.
bike being from China.
Or just the trailer and a motorcycle pulling a trailer.
We are at the Royal Palace
Yeah,
in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh.
I remember it being really hot. I remember being like, that day was very hot.
And there's a lot of structures. It's very reminiscent of the palace that we went to in Bangkok. And in comparison, it doesn't really live up as highly as that, but I wonder if we hadn't seen Bangkok, would this be impressive? And it might be.
It's pretty impressive.
If you want to go to an epic royal palace, you know what city to go to.
And don't forget that if it hadn't been $6.25 to get in here, it wouldn't be quite as much salt in the eye.
Yeah, my
Complaining about $6. What idiots.
eye hurts.
I guess the other one was free, maybe? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't know. I would definitely not bitch about that at this
Wow.
point. Yeah, that was snarky.
Do you think you're allowed on the grass?
Don't know.
Alright, let's watch the guy.
See the little kid?
Totally worth it. Oh, a little kid,
Little kid was doing it too.
Police officer enforced to stay off the grass. I can't help it, man.
You got chase pigeons. It's just part of your
Whoa.
history, part of your culture.
I just
Chasing
end up
pigeon
doing the
boys.
thing that you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, it's cool how it's lit up though, isn't it? I wonder. I don't think you could go in there at nighttime. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's pretty stunning.
It's cool looking.
It's pretty nice looking. The Royal Palace has been illuminated. The book we have says that this is usually for special occasions, but aside from it being Friday night, I'm not sure what else it would be for.
What's that guy got?
Shows how educated I am on Cambodian customs, right? I did just spend like 45 minutes or an hour talking with a kid that's like 20 years old that goes to university here.
Oh yeah, I was sitting by the river. I don't think you were with me this night. I think you stayed home and I wandered around the city a bit. This just hit me. This just hit me. This was the first place that we went on our trip where you said you felt uncomfortable walking around by yourself at night.
Definitely did feel that way.
Yeah. So hold on, let's talk about that for a second, because this kind of plays into a little bit of like Cambodia stuffs. So the deal with Cambodia is that there was a genocide, like a really, really bad genocide. Like a huge percentage of the population was murdered in this genocide in the 70s. And as a result, we were there in 2010, but there are like kind of very few older people because there were so many people killed in the genocide. So everybody in Cambodia at the time that we were there was like in their like 20s, like mid,
like a whole
lots of teenagers.
Culture of people was just starting out in their 20s.
Yeah.
And I can't even imagine that.
Imagine if you
they're
had
living it.
Yeah, imagine if you had an entire group of people that was like, you know, like a how do I explain this? It's like young people were kind of just like running and operating the entire thing. So like the vibe in the city and stuff was like what you would expect if like a whole bunch of young people were running it. So it was kind of like explosive and chaotic, and I think if you got comfortable in that environment, it would be it's very unique. It would be an interesting thing to be a part of. But as somebody just stepping in, it's kind of like, whoa, this has got a different vibe, and it's hard to tune. Like, is this dangerous? Is this safe? Like when you first get to a new place, and it just felt so dramatically different than the other places that we had been. That I remember you were like, I don't want to go out by myself at night. Like you stayed at the hotel or whatever.
I think I remember walking by myself at some point going back to the hotel. I wasn't walking very far, but I just remembered feeling not necessarily followed, but just like I kind of created this thought in my mind, like somebody could be following me. And I remembered getting back to the hotel and I was getting ready to take a shower and stuff, and I just remembered thinking to myself, like I'd already felt like someone was following me. And then you decided unknowingly that you were going to mess with me. And I haven't screamed. I probably have screamed that loud.
All I did is I got on my knees and I knocked on the door. Like in the hotel room, so I was on my knees, and then she opened the door, and I was going like like I didn't know she was freaked out, but I went rah, and she got really, really scared.
Yeah, I got
it's probably
scared,
the most
and
I've
then I got
ever scared
angry
you.
at you.
Yeah, you got. Are you still angry?
I just little. Somebody commented that Lord of the Flies, that's not how I felt about it. There's something more industrial. There's something like Lord of the Flies has this feeling like there is no. It's so rudimentary and living in the wild. This isn't the wild. This is the civilization. So however you change Lord of the Flies into a civilization that's being built by those boys, they're not out in the wild trying to survive. They're already surviving, and they're creating the civilization that comes from being left to their own means. So it's like next level Lord of the Flies.
I kind of remember seeing kids it seemed like they were in gangs. Groups of kids on scooters and cars and stuff driving around kind of aggressively and stuff too. And I don't know if that played into kind of the vibe of what we were feeling. And maybe it was a neighborhood we were in or whatever. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to really know. But I mean, we also saw things there were just people doing drugs out in the open.
Yeah, people were definitely smoking weed just out in the
just
open.
In restaurants. And it's not legal. You're not allowed to, I don't believe. But it's just it felt lawless.
Yes.
It felt like there was no rules except for going on the grass. That was the only thing that you weren't allowed to do.
I was the most unlaw-abiding person.
Yeah, but yeah, it just hits with a different vibe. I wonder if it's different now because there's
Time.
there's an older generation of people. Those people have grown up. You know what I mean? So I wonder if the vibe is different or not. It would be interesting to go. We didn't do too much in Cambodia. We could probably go back to Cambodia sometime. I could go back there again. And just see what the difference is. Okay. Anyway, so that kind of
I
sets
kind
the
of
scene.
remember fireworks happening. Am I crazy?
I do not remember fireworks. I'm gonna reseat the cable on this because it keeps blinking in and out.
Okay. Yeah. Pink Poison said that lots can change in 13 years, and that's very true. And I mean, like, what does a grown-up Lord of the Flies create when they have tons of examples throughout the world? But what do they end up making on their own?
Sorry, the thing is just blinking in and out. I don't know what the deal was. It was fine last week. Anyway. This doesn't work. I have to use the other mouse. Do.
He said that he just wanted to talk to me because he wanted to practice his English. He said that everybody else in his class is lazy and doesn't want to learn English, but he actually cares and is trying to learn it. So he just walks up to white people and talks to them. And his English was so-so, but the thing that I learned a lot about, like, his family and stuff. But the thing of note, his university has $320 American per year. So I told him that things are a little more expensive in the States.
Oh, that's how much he pays.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of. I remember the kid. I can see the kid's face in my head still.
Spent over a month in Bangkok, and never once did I see anybody urinate in the actual city. I'm to Phnom Penh for what 3 days, and I just walked past 4 people peeing in the street. So if you smell urine here, there's a reason for it. Pretty disgusting.
At least not on the bus.
These women here are wearing pajamas.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
Oh, pajama culture.
A lot of people just wear pajamas all the time. Yeah, I completely forgot about this.
Fucking looks sweet. I would be up on this.
You get some pajamas, wear them. You can do it. You got this.
They'll definitely think I'm Cambodian here.
For sure.
In Cambodia, and we're not sure why. We haven't figured this one out. But they always look super clean, and they're just like wandering around, you know. And of course,
What did I say?
You gotta wear your pajamas to the Lucky Burger?
Yeah, it's
I
Lucky.
don't know.
They don't have any chain restaurants. There was no American chains or anything like that. No Western chains. So they had a Lucky Burger was their
exciting.
chain.
Oh, you go out on the street and stuff, and it's really common. It's just apparently a thing that's going on. And I've actually seen discussions on the internet of people talking about what's the deal with the Cambodian women in their pajamas, and nobody has any idea. So if anybody knows the solution to this mystery, go ahead and post a comment.
I wonder if they're still doing that, if it was like a blip in time. That's really cool. I like it.
Been walking past a lot of embassies here, and this is North Korea's, and they've got all this like propaganda in this little window right out front with Kim Jong here, our buddy, and just pictures of him like from recently, according to it says 2009, in Cambodia. Which is strange because the Western media portrays him as like has disappeared as of like in 2008, like he never makes media appearances. But I mean, here it is on the street, so it makes you wonder about that a little bit. But this is the only one that's got propaganda, the only embassy that's got propaganda out front. So that's also pretty funny, and it's kind of the dumpiest looking building. It almost feels weird to be videotaping this, knowing that in North Korea, if you were doing this, you'd get shot or arrested or whatever. But that's going to make a good picture, so that's the end of the
It's a really good ending.
I can't drag.
Yeah, it was before he died.
We think. All right, this is more of Phnom Penh. I don't know why I broke it into 2 pieces, but I did.
We were walking down the street and we've come across this, which looks like human hair that has been cut off of people's heads and is being dried to go somewhere.
I don't think we ever figured out this mystery of what this was. If it was actually hair or if it was like some sort of synthetic thing or something. Or from a horse or something. I don't know. What am I looking at?
It was definitely put in a ponytail and then cut.
It's a lot of hair.
It goes on for the entire residence. It's really, really weird.
The videos are on. They should be on the channel. Yeah.
In Phnom Penh, the tuk-tuks are a little bit different. They are motorcycles, and he has got a hitch here that he has screwed into where the back seat would be. And then it's like a little wagon, like a little trailer with 2 wheels on it. And that's that.
So I think these videos are a little out of order. It all obviously we saw that hair thing after we went to the S21 or S20. Like we saw it right after we went to one of these horrible like war memorial places. And I remember it being additionally creepy because of what we had just seen.
Yeah, I
And
don't
then
have a recollection. Of
We're in
the
this
order.
little tuk-tuk thing. He's taking us to the killing fields. But that's not going to be until a later video. I think when I edited these, I broke the those 2 videos, like the killing fields and stuff, into a different thing. The hair are all the same color. Yeah, I mean, like the locals kind of all have a similar hair color. So, but I don't know. We have no idea what it was. I don't think we ever figured it out.
This is basically what we're in, one of these things.
It's dope.
It's really cool.
So we've been riding in this tuk-tuk going to the killing fields for about 5 minutes, and we stopped for gas, and now we have stopped to change a flat tire. The guy that's driving us around seems like a really nice guy, and it's kind of interesting to have a breakdown in a tuk-tuk, so it's all taken in stride. It's going pretty well. We were at a restaurant called China Restaurant, and we found this yesterday as we grumpily walked down the road thinking we weren't going to find anything that we could ever eat on this busy main road that, yeah. So we landed at this place and we ordered some dumplings, beef dumplings, and you got fried rice yesterday, and Eric got some fried rice, and the dumplings came, and as you can tell, they don't stay on the table very long. They are incredible. The beef is succulent and flavorful and intense, and the dumpling exterior is delicious and tasty and squishy and good, and the service here is wonderful. The lady that is serving us is genuinely nice, happy to be doing what she's doing and proud of what she's doing because she knows the food is amazing. There's that. What was that?
Right behind you, I pointed at her.
No. This is the moment we've been waiting for.
Oh.
For these little, they call them mini beef buns.
They smell like fresh donuts.
Ooh, yeah, they do.
It's funny that we didn't know what these were at that point. That seems crazy to me at this point because that's such a normal thing to me now.
Donuts and beef.
Donuts.
Seems like a good pairing. Is it hot?
It's very good.
Can I see the inside?
It's very similar to
What was in our dumplings? So, succulent beef. Time to eat.
Oh, I pushed the wrong button. I knew that would eventually happen.
Thank you for the subscription. Do I squeak for the sub?
Yeah, I squeaked for some.
Dozo.
And incredible. The beef, what she's doing. For these little, they call them mini beef buns. Was in our dumplings. So, succulent beef. Time to eat.
So the traffic in this city is not as congested as it was in Bangkok, but it's much more manic. I think that the lack of congestion leads people to drive a little crazier, and there's a significant amount of driving down the wrong direction and such behavior. And the other thing is that there's a lot of motorbikes in Bangkok and in other Asian cities, but there's a lot of motorbikes here. Like, it's like, I think it legitimately could be between 10 to 20 to 1. Like, for every one car, there's 10 to 20 motorbikes. It's really, really crazy. And, I mean, that's just because, you know, economic situation here is a little bit...
People are riding the bike sideways.
Mm.
And I just see, like, this strip mall that is across the street, and I'm like, wow, looks really interesting. Like, I don't know what's in there.
You're more interested in the strip mall?
Like,
than
I see what looks like a restaurant on a second floor, and I'm like, what's in there?
less than it is in Bangkok, and there's no taxis here, which fill up Bangkok.
That's weird. I said that a minute ago. Like I said that a minute ago, like in real time, that there's no taxis. Like I was looking at the other traffic.
Bangkok streets. But it's kind of cool, and riding around and it's interesting, and crossing the street's a damn adventure. This little poof just chased us down the street. It's really, really pissed off.
Wow.
Nothing.
You're just over there yelling at random poofs. That motherfucker's having a hard life. Did you see the color of the fur?
He lived in Cambodia. It's just like a bit of the. It's hard to keep it clean when you live in a dusty place. Thank you for the subsies. Subsies. The subsies.
I think I'm gonna get used to his loudness.
Oh yeah?
It was vibracious on my face.
It's good news, man.
I like him.
Okay, so this is where things are going to take a dive into the more intense. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to just kind of let the video go, and if I remember anything that didn't get explained in the video, then we'll talk about it afterwards.
So you're going to do the same? Oh, afterwards.
Yeah. Or well, we could watch it during. If you want me to pause it, just it's okay.
Okay.
Am I feeling sick? No, I feel my voice is a little bit. Like I do feel a little bit like my voice is a little bit worn down. But I don't feel sick at all. Okay. So these are broken into two pieces. The first one is this museum where a whole bunch of horrible things happened, and the second one is a place called the Killing Fields. So we'll do the museum first.
Before the video gets going, I want to say a warning and put the following videos and pictures into context. The warning is threefold. 1, this video is not one of our goofy, funny compilations. 2, the footage is at times graphic. And 3, this video is not going to provide all the information about the Khmer Rouge, nor does it begin to explain the atrocities that happened. In April 1975, the Khmer Rouge overtook the vulnerable Cambodian government. Their plan was to return the country to a heightened time of success. They called this Year Zero. The Khmer Rouge forced everyone into labor cooperatives working on rice fields. By everyone, I mean every person, young, old, disabled, pregnant, it didn't matter. They forced them into intensive labor for 12 to 15-hour days with little food. Thousands of people died from exhaustion, starvation, and disease. To enforce loyalty, they severed victims' connections to their families. Children were taken from mothers, and wives from husbands, and so on. Obedience was imperative, and the Khmer Rouge were swift to enforce their leadership. If persons were considered to be traitors or plotting to revolt, they could simply be killed on spot. The regime was quick to take out anyone who presented intelligence, such as doctors, students, and even those who just wore glasses. Their fear of uprising led to much sadder fates for thousands of Cambodians who found themselves at S.21, the torture headquarters of the Khmer Rouge, which is where we're standing.
I think I wrote that.
I think you wrote that too. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. let's just see what we say in the video. I don't want to just make it like we're talking about the same thing over and over. We're going to put a pause on the chicken squeaks for the next 10 or 15 minutes here, by the way. So
We'll
any
squeak
subs
later.
we'll catch up with on that later.
As you walk into the compound, you can feel almost peaceful and touristy. It's really weird. You see the tour guide sitting to the side waiting for customers to come up, and it's just got an odd vibe knowing what you're about to go see. And S-21 was stationed in a high school in Phnom Penh. It's a dilapidated and intimidating building once you're standing outside. The compound is separated into 3 different buildings.
I guess we didn't explain what it is. Maybe we do later.
Yeah, I've said that we ended up at S-21.
It's basically
And
like
that's
a
where
prison.
Yeah, it's where prisoners were taken.
Yeah, but it's a
And-
prison/tortured dungeon. They were basically trying to kill anybody that was educated.
Or get information out of anyone
Yeah.
that they could.
The first one takes you into large rooms that were used for torture. In each room, you'll find a few items such as a bed and a apparatus that goes around the ankles of victims to restrain them to the bed or nearby. And most rooms have ammo containers that were used for defecation in that time. The items that you're seeing are the items that they found. They aren't replicas or anything like that. Also, they show you a photo of the victims in the rooms. It's eerie because the pictures match perfectly. Nothing has been changed. Walking into these rooms is very heavy. You can almost feel the weight of the room, and I know that that's really cliche to say, but I've never been in a room where I know thousands of people have been murdered, and it's really intense. Methods of torture at S-21 included ripping out the fingernails and toenails of victims, waterboarding, lashes with electrified wire, and many other things. One of the striking things that we saw was on a list of unspoken rules. Victims were not allowed or told not to cry while they were being tortured. It's just shocking to think that they were controlling the uncontrollable. It's really sad. In the second building, you see the regime's intense documentation of their destruction. They took mugshots of every single person that came into S-21, and room after room that you walk through, there are unduplicated pictures of victims who were brought here, and it's intense. You can see the anger in some of their faces, and you can see that some have just completely given up, and you know that that's just the beginning. The stunning part of this section is that the pictures aren't from centuries ago. It's hard to swallow that 17,000 people were killed here only 30 years ago. The third and final building of the Genocide Museum showed the confinement and torture devices. On the first floor, there were small brick cells. They were about the size of bathroom stalls. The cells seemed hastily made, and it was almost as if overnight they had decided they were going to imprison and torture people to death. As you walk to the second floor, you can notice that there's barbed wire that's been strung along the open balcony, and we found out that this was so that inmates could not commit suicide from jumping off the building. And it just seems terrible that they can't decide their own death. They are unable to decide that. That's been taken away from them. And seeing this showed that this place hasn't been altered at all since the regime was forced out. That barbed wire is the same barbed wire that was sitting there then. On this floor, the cells are made of wood. They are tiny, and there's a hole to look in so that they could check on prisoners. It felt weird looking through the holes, like you could almost feel someone on the other side. And you didn't want to look for very long because they might pop up. And to get into this area, you had to walk through one of the cells. And it was a disgusting feeling like I haven't had since I was afraid of the dark. It made me want to run as quick through it as I could so that nothing bad would happen. The last exhibit showed the torture equipment. Seeing the equipment and the explanations still allows you to be detached. but there's also several paintings to illustrate the procedures. They showed waterboarding equipment, which is where the victim lays down on a declining platform and water is run over their heads and breathing is decreased. Another device hung victims upside down in a barrel with their arms behind their backs while they were repeatedly dipped into dirty water. The regime also used the pull-up bars outside of the high school to hang victims by their feet until they passed out. They would then force their heads into dirty water to shock them back into consciousness. They'd repeat this several times. Alright, so we have just finished the second building, and I can tell you that I can feel, like, I don't really know how to express it other than that my arms just ache a little bit. And I don't know what that really means or whatever. But as we were finishing the second building, we overheard a conversation with some 3 wealthy-looking women and 1 really ugly man. And Eric thought that he had heard something that the woman said and told me about it. So I started listening to their conversation, and the ugly-looking man said that they shouldn't have stuff like this here in regards to the Khmer Rouge and this museum, which, in all honesty, I think that it should be here because this is what it was, and it consumed the entire country. And they were talking about just having a memorial. When something consumes an entire country, the memorial's going to be kind of big, and it's kind of going to look like this. It's going to look like where you can pinpoint the most horror, and that's here. And he also said that it looks like these people are proud of what happened, and that's probably the most offensive thing I've ever heard in my life. I wish that some Cambodians had been there to say something about it, or to just do something, because I really wanted to say something, but I don't think it's my place, and there's no reason to start an uproar at a museum, but I really wanted to punch those people in the face because they're absolutely rude. Completely offensive.
Okay, so I think the parts that we didn't like quite explain as much as I wish that we had were that building. We kind of touched on it, but we didn't like explain it on the nose. They didn't like revamp the building. It's like the building is how it was found. Like they didn't like change it at all. Like the purpose of the museum was to show what happened, and because they still had this thing, they could just turn it into a museum, and it makes it like, I mean, we've been to other museums that are intense, right? Like we went to like the Holocaust Museum in Israel and stuff, and we've seen some other things, and not to like say this one's better or whatever. That one's just intense on a level that's hard to express because it's like, this is where the things actually happened, and like they haven't changed anything. Like they put up some signs and stuff, but like there's just, you see the markings of horror in that building.
I can straight up say the video doesn't convey.
No, I feel sick to my stomach having watched that again. I haven't seen it since we edited that. I can still feel kind of what it felt like to walk through that building. It's like one of the most impactful things I've done in my entire life.
Yeah, I feel like just sitting here and putting words to it.
It's hard.
No, it's not that it's hard. It's that I don't want to. I just want to sink into my own thoughts about it and just revel's not the right word, but like be stuck in the unbelievability of that. But at the same time, it's kind of believable, obviously, considering the times and people still doing all of these things. Well, maybe not all of the things somewhere, but somewhere. I don't know. It's really hard to. I don't want to put more words on it.
But I do remember hearing those people and being like, "What are you doing?" And like they were just like, they were offended they had to be subjected to that. It's like they were upset about having to be subjected. Can you imagine what the people that were actually subjected to?
It's like they've never seen a war memorial or something like that.
I just want it to be some like pretty like little like thing.
Let me etch your name in a piece of
concrete
whatever.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Nah, like.
Yeah, they were tourists. They were absolutely obnoxious, horrible tourists.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Okay, so
really lost in that.
That building was in the middle-ish area, like the central area of Phnom Penh, and like Katie had mentioned in the video, it was it was an old high school that got turned into that, which is like they were trying to eliminate educated people, and they were doing it in a place of education. Like that is, I don't know, it's a thing. So anyway, then the next video that we're going to play is and this will be the last one for tonight, will be a video of the killing fields, which is a feeling like on the a field on the outside of Phnom Penh. That's what we had to take that like tuk-tuk thing to get out there. We couldn't just walk. And it's where a lot, like there's a bunch of mass graves and executions and just more horribleness. So anyway, we'll watch that one, and then we'll look at some pictures. Otrixio, thank you for the follow. We appreciate it. Buttons, and then this button, and then this button.
The following day, we took a tuk-tuk to the killing fields. The 17,000 victims who were tortured at S21 were brought to these fields and executed. The site has 129 mass graves, 43 of which that have been left untouched, which means they don't really have an accurate count of how many bodies there are. As you walk in, there is a huge memorial stupa. When the site was excavated, they found remains of over 8,000 people. 8,000 of the skulls have been placed in the stupa and are arranged by age and sex. It's very strange to look at your sex and age group. I can't even imagine losing my life right now. And I feel terrible for those girls. After viewing the stupa, you're able to walk around the mass.
I just said I didn't remember that.
Yeah, there's you could go inside of that thing.
Dude, I got stuck in it.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
that's one of the really like impactful, scary moments that I have is that I thought I could get out, and when I could get out the door, I just turned around and all you see is skulls, and it was a lot. But I didn't know they did that. You can really personalize that by putting it by gender.
I would just ignore that.
Yeah. By placing it by gender and by age, you can really just see yourself. You could turn any one of those to you.
Graves. They really just seem like big holes in the ground, but then you read some of the captions that say, mass grave of 450 victims. That number isn't quantifiable in human lives. I can think of 450 pounds or 450 pages of a book, but 450 persons just is not imaginable. In most cases, to spare bullets, victims were bludgeoned to death. In one mass grave, they found over 150 women and children. We were informed that the tree next to the grave was used as a post to smash babies against. That might be one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in my life, and I can't even understand that people were capable of that. The last horrible thing that we saw was...
Hold on, guys. God damn it.
You also don't have a heart. Bye. Strong eye roll.
Strong eye roll.
Oh man,
Anyway,
that was fucked up.
The magic tree. This tree used to have a loudspeaker strapped to it, and music would be played extremely loud to drown out the cries of victims. I personally hope that music haunts the participants of this atrocity for the rest of their lives. Surprisingly, the killing fields have a park atmosphere.
You said something right there. You said, I hope that the music haunts these people for the rest of their lives. What's fucked up about that is, like, the people that committed these crimes that were part of the Khmer Rouge, they're still alive. Like, this isn't something from, like, way in the back times, you know what I mean? Like, we were there. It happened in, like, what, 75?
Why? I feel like the trials were happening.
Yeah,
I
there still have
the
been,
trials,
like, war
or at least that
tribunals
was,
or whatever. Yeah. Oh, no, don't worry, dude. It's okay. So, yeah, just the fact that, like, I hope they still are feeling haunted by this. Like, still, like, I don't know. It's just not long ago. A lot of these things, like, they're so far from before you're born, it's, like, less connectable, even though it's terrible.
Yeah, like they say that they're prosecuting Nazis and kind of... That's a forever ago word. But
yeah,
these feel like people as opposed to characters.
Yeah, it's just more recent. It makes it more connectable or whatever for some reason.
You can walk around. It's kind of leisurely. There are benches. It's oddly
This
peaceful.
is more fucked up than I remember.
But it's nice that a site of such epic, devastating proportions can actually seem quite serene.
You're pulling this off the top of your head. You didn't write all this out. I can tell by the way you're speaking in the video.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that one thing you did right at the beginning of the other one. But this is more. You're just talking about what you're thinking about.
It's kind of calming.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say that, like, the Nazi thing is, like, really, really far back or anything. There's just something about the fact that there was just something about being in that moment, in that place, and being like, okay, this happened, like, right before I was born. I don't know. It's weird to talk about this stuff because I don't want to, like, diminish other horrible shit, right? But the fact that you could be walking down the road there and you could be like, okay, well, I'm just, like, walking past people who could have been involved with this. Like, you see an older dude. You see a dude, like, in his 60s at that point. And you're like, okay, that guy could have been, like, one of these people. Like, I don't know. Something about that. I've never been in a situation like that either that is quite that intense.
One thing that Eric and I have discussed is that with our videos, people probably want a little bit more of the truth. And so I'm going to give you my true reactions to what we did while we were there and how I feel about it now. While we were at the Genocide Museum, I did pretty much everything that I could to feel where I was. And it was intense, and it felt bad. That night when I went to sleep, I had repetitive dreams of approaching that high school and being very scared and waking up. And that continued into the next night. That sucked. And when we went to the killing fields, at the stupa, you can go in and you can walk around all the sections of the stupa. So you can go to every single side and be up close and see what age group of the skulls you're looking at. And I got to the fourth wall and there was a door there, and I thought to myself, you know, I could probably connect a little bit more with this. And not really sure why I did this. I told myself to imagine people so that I could fully understand it, and I scared the crap out of myself. And I went to go out the door and I couldn't get out, and because that door was locked, so I had to go back through all the walls, all the skulls, 18,000 or 8,000 people, and that scared me a lot. And I still consistently have trouble if that pops into my head before I go to sleep. Like, I have to tell myself not to think about it. So, kind of fucked myself over there. Editing the videos now is the first night that I went to do it, it was nighttime. I just couldn't do it. I was going to have bad dreams, and I didn't want to do that. And it's still a struggle to go to sleep because I watched one of the videos that Eric had done where we were in one of the rooms with the bed and the picture, and he'd gotten so much closer to the picture than I had ever allowed myself to when I was in the actual room. And it's just scary. Like, there's a literal bad feeling about the entire thing, and I know that most people would say, why would you do that to yourself? Well, why go to a museum and not experience it if you have the opportunity to try and understand it more than just looking at it? So that's the truth.
All right.
That skull footage was too much, man.
You know, there was something about the way that it was kind of haphazardly made. Like it was like they built that monument, like the tomb of all these skulls, and it wasn't like this one is here and this one is here and each one of us perfectly laid out. They were kind of like on top of each other and stuff. And there's something about the way that was done is another layer of putting you into probably what it really was. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because when they were killing these people, they were just throwing them in holes. Do you know what I mean? Mm. And it wasn't like this pristine thing like that. It was just this horrible massacre. I don't know. I don't really have a full thought. Yeah, that was heavy. You mentioned that did you edit those?
I think I had to watch the videos to make the voiceovers.
Maybe that's what you did. That would make sense.
Yeah, I definitely still... I don't have any, like, bad dreams about this or at this point. But I still see that stupa, and that's probably one of the most... Yeah, a very impactful thing to have experienced and saw. It's stunning.
David, the answer to like what happened to the perpetrators, there's been a bunch of like drama about it, like the generals and stuff that were like with it. Some of them got prosecuted, but I think that's like they actually have some support maybe still like within like certain aspects of the government or something. I don't know exactly. It's been like a thing that pops up in the news every once in a while. But if you look up like Khmer Rouge and like look up like somewhat recent news, like within the last decade, you'll see that things have been going on with some of it. I'm not sure what happened with like the foot soldiers or whatever, the random people that were involved with this or not. I have no idea. But let's see. Hopefully that'll reconnect, because if it doesn't...
Get Good Game says there's a documentary about families being reunited.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. God. Background thing to this is that I don't read books, but I did.
Yeah, you read that book by a woman that was...
Yeah. It's called First They Killed My Father.
Yeah, that's right.
So I ended up reading that book. And at the same time...
after we went, I think.
Yeah. I was reading it in Korea, I think. And at the same time, like, after I'd gotten a large portion through the book, I listened to Dog Days by Florence and the Machines, and I attributed almost all of the lyrics to this situation. If you listen to that song, you can attribute a lot of it to this. And I won't go through all the lyrics, but I tied those two things together. So now whenever I hear that song, I think and feel this intensity that someone who wanted to live through this, wanted to escape, overcome, would have, and put that into that song. And I don't think they have anything to do with each other, but that's just what my brain did.
Let me switch this back over here and let's check out some of the pictures. So we're gonna be kind of going back to the less intense stuff at the beginning. Because
maybe we start at the end.
You want to go?
Maybe we can end on
backwards. We can do that.
Yeah, maybe do that.
All right, we'll start at we're gonna go through in reverse chronological order then. Let's see. So this is kind of a goofy one, but we just saw a dental place and it looked like that. It was one of the last pictures we took.
My dad is a dentist, so we'd see dental stuff like this and send him pictures.
Every time I see things like this, I think about how your dad mentioned at one point in like dental marketing, you're not supposed to show the roots of the teeth and like parts of the gums and
especially
stuff.
like that inner part where when people end up having like a root canal or something, or something strikes that nerve, like people are not comfortable with that after having experienced that it can rot.
So anyway, whenever I see that kind of marketing, I see that. But that's a dentist, that's for sure. Okay, so now we're going to get back into like kind of more bummer stuff. I can just tell by the file names. So that's the stupa. I guess would be the right word. Stupa is the right word? I don't know. And
how do you pose for pictures?
I don't think you were posing. I think you were standing there and I turned around and took a picture. This is a tree that you mentioned about having a loudspeaker to drown out the sounds of the victims. And I think...
Oh my god, somebody's got to fucking write that.
Yeah. This is the thing I always remember. This hits me really hard.
You could have even recorded my face when I listened to me say that. I was just like, that is still incredibly fucked.
Yeah, so I mean, they were just like killing babies against this tree. No grenades, no guns. Yeah, Cambodia, we were talking earlier about how Cambodia is kind of lawless. I remember when we were there, somebody told us that you could shoot a cow with a rocket launcher. Like, money just gets whatever you want in that country at that time. What's with the no shoes? No business shoes or something? What's the deal? Oh, maybe it's inside of a building where you have to take your shoes off. This is us on the way to the killing fields in that tuk-tuk thing. The only thing that I found noteworthy about this is you can actually see the camera. That was the little tiny, and you can see like the size of it. Like that was the little camera we filmed the entire thing with. That's all we had. That was the entire gear set. Think about what it is now. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. I missed that to a certain degree.
Yeah. Looks like I'm looking for internet.
I guess this partially was part of the gear.
Would I have been talking directly into the thing to make the...
Yeah, maybe you were talking on Skype or something to your mom or something like that. Yeah. We went in Phnom Penh. They had this big fountain, and at night it had like a light show. I think there was music and stuff. It was really cool.
I thought there was fireworks. I think this is what I was thinking of.
I remember it being really impressive.
I remember it being really like cool.
And it was kind of like a gathering area, if I recall. Like a lot of like younger people would be there, like hanging out and stuff. Like I remember being kind of like a thing.
Oh, doing the bird.
I am doing the bird. Before the bird was the bird.
That's pre-bird bird.
That's pre-bird bird. I'd forgotten about this. Let's get a look at this comic.
Is she shitting on his phone?
All right. So he's taking an upskirt picture and he's like being suspicious about it because he's like looking both ways. And now he's like, ha ha ha, I guess, whatever. Like I'm taking the upskirt picture. and then she's taking a dump on the phone.
Huh. I don't think that's going to teach him to not do that.
I think that might be that might be the last that'd be the last time.
But that's the thing. That's not going to happen. It's so outlandish that like.
If somebody pooped on your phone,
comical.
you do the same thing with the phone?
It's just comical. You know what I'm thinking that this is this like a manners report?
I have no idea.
How to
is it a joke? Is it a joke? I don't know.
Can't tell.
Anybody here read Cambodian?
Jerry.
Yeah, where's Jerry? These are answers for everything.
Yep.
Anyway. Oh yeah, we're going the other way today. This one was labeled note. Note.jpg.
Just called note.
Yeah.
No pissing. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I've seen that in Japan.
So yeah, there's all this hair. I guess we never figured out if this was real hair or not. It's weird. It's all exactly the same length, and it's long. But we saw this right after we walked out of the high school with all the killing stuff, and I know because the pictures are in order. And these were just pictures of the inside of the...
It's a really good picture.
But I mean, even like, again, like, the vibe of this, they didn't like clean it all up and like put like, quote unquote, proper museum infrastructure in and like lights and
this
like
stuff is just
all this stuff.
leaning
Yeah, it's
on
just
the
leaning
floor.
on the floor.
Like...
It just gives it so much more, it makes it so much more real and connectable, like, it lets you understand more accurately, I think.
It's Haikyo.
Yeah, it's Haikyo.
They've
Like, it's like abandoned building, is what that means.
Yeah. It's regulated Haikyo. They're not changing anything and they're not allowing you to mess it up. They are, yeah.
And like they
Wow.
didn't fix
I
it
never
up.
really
Like the
thought
hole
about
in
it
the
that
ceiling
way.
is there. Like they didn't fix it up. And like I just think that's beneficial to understanding. I think it helps convey the information.
Like, the way it looks right now is the way it looked when people got pulled into it. You're looking at probably the same colors, etc.
This picture freaks me out.
I don't think it was explained. Like, she's dead.
Yeah. She looks like Leah.
And she died there.
That also freaks me out. But yeah, they had pictures of like, this is what we found when we came in here. So there are photos of like documenting things or whatever.
And I don't believe hers was the only one.
No, there were a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's just like the outside, like the barbed wire or whatever on the outside of the building. It's just that's how it was when they retook it over and like overthrew the Khmer Rouge. Like that's what was there.
I wonder how many people were saved that were still in the building.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if that was
Then
explained.
I immediately asked myself, like, I wonder how fucked up their
Yeah.
existence became after that. There's like a certain how far you can go down a road before it really just
breaks you.
yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be a point. These people saw some shit, man. Even the people that weren't, just anybody that was alive in Cambodia in the 70s.
Yeah. Like, I think about the book that girl wrote, and would one necessarily say that super terrible things happened to her?
I mean,
But what she saw was pretty, like, yeah.
So that was the door that I hid
That was
behind and
the
scared
scary
you.
door.
Yeah, I would like to point out, I believe I did this before we went and did the scary stuffs.
Yes.
I didn't do it when I knew she was having nightmares. That's the picture that I stopped that video to take. It did come out pretty cool. Isn't that a cool picture?
It's the end of the bit. I wish that this had ended too.
It's like a center
That's
area.
cool.
It's like a roundabout. It's kind of action-y looking. All the motorbikes going by.
I liked roundabouts in these countries. Watch exit. Exit number 2. 1, 2.
That was peculiar. How did that get there?
Say what?
Yeah, I'd forgotten about it.
What
but
year
I looked
does
at the
it
pictures.
say? 2000 and... Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
all
a
scratched off.
2010, so it's...
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody
Interesting.
imported it or whatever. I don't know.
Or they just got the plate.
I only showed this picture because this is how we would deal. Like when we didn't want to carry, this is what would happen. When we would go in different directions for whatever reason, one of us would have the book, which had the map in it, and the other one of us would take the camera. And we'd take a picture of the map so that we would be able to look on the camera and then be able to find our way back to our hotel. And that's what like one of these things, we knew it was like number 92 or whatever like that. And like, that's where we're staying. And that's why we would take pictures of things in the book. I just found that to be like, See? Lucky Burger.
The Lucky Burger.
Yeah, you're at the Lucky Burger. Yeah, I don't know if they have in
But
Cambodia.
I'm not wearing the proper attire.
What are you supposed to be wearing?
Pajamas.
That's right.
Yeah, that's still really cool. They took it up a notch.
Yeah.
I may have insulted it, but that shit looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks great at night. This is like along the river, and I remember there's being like a flag from every country. My beard's looking just about now, isn't it? Same?
No, now it's
Is it
got,
scruffier
now
then?
it's got dignity. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Some sort of dignifiedness over here.
We didn't carry scissors or
Over-
anything, so I couldn't
over
like
there's-
trim. It just like grew. I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, maybe we
it's
did.
wild.
I think I trimmed my mustache because you wouldn't have kissed me if I wasn't trimming my mustache.
Yeah, you gotta trim your mustache. Special herb pizza.
Yeah, that's a eyebrow razor.
Uh-huh.
That might have been the bus where some. No, this is probably the bus from when we went from Bong Long down to Phnom Penh. I remember being really happy about this box of raisins.
Yeah, I don't remember why you were
I hadn't had
so
raisins
happy.
in a while.
Yeah, that probably is the answer. Let go.
I probably scarfed the whole box now. I don't have very good self-control when it comes to snacks.
Yeah, true.
That was after being on the motorbike and just like how dirty you would get. Like just being outside
It's
doing
not
stuff.
sunburn, it's dirt.
Yeah, it's dirt. Well, some of it's probably some sunburn from like where the straps, I don't know. Anyway.
Toenails are still looking normal there.
Oh yeah. I don't know what this picture was. I don't remember where we were sitting.
The fastest dog one's
that little
ever
dog.
seen.
It's just a blur.
Wow, caught him on film.
Yeah, same
Okay,
thing.
and that's tan.
Yeah,
That's not dirt.
But look how dirty the sandal is. Like, it's
Well,
just.
maybe it is dirt.
Yeah, I think it is dirt. I don't know. See?
Yeah.
See? Yeah, yeah,
Squealed
yeah.
like a little girl.
In my head, I'm like 40 meters in the air, like in my memory. But in here, it's like maybe like, I don't know, 5 foot. It's far enough that I wouldn't die if I fell. But I think the concern was, what if a rock from above came down? But I swung on a vine like fucking Indiana Jones. Like way out in the
pretty cool.
jungle. It is really cool. It was worth it. Look how small I am here. And it, like the water is coming down and hitting that big rock or hitting behind the big rock probably. But just, I'm small.
And your YOLO moment.
Mm-hmm.
Are we allowed to squeak the chicken now, or?
Oh yeah, we can squeak the chicken now, I think. Oh yeah, Mupa, thank you. That's 14 months, Rad. Thank you very much. Do you want to squeak?
Yeah, together.
Okay.
1,
Two.
2, 3. Wow. 14 months really gets you going, huh? Likes those long-term relationships.
So I don't remember how we were picking where we were going. We were just like driving out through the forest, and it was like kind of unpaved or whatever. Yeah, I don't really remember this day very well, like very strong.
Ooh, is that the bouncy bridge?
Probably.
I love bouncing on bridges now. Would bounce again.
Cool picture. So we weren't totally alone, I guess. There's another couple of people down behind us. But I remember it being like I remember being kind of alone a lot that day.
And that's where we went under the waterfall. Into the little creepy area. It's a cool picture.
Yeah, it's cool. You can just barely see me. Power washing. And yeah, that's the creepy area. I remember we're doing these pictures backwards. Oh, those are those creepy ass things.
They're interesting. They look cool. Their silver eyes look like those sprinkles
He looks like he's raving.
that you put on. Oh yeah, seems to be really into it. They look like the sprinkles, like the not jimmies, but the silver sprinkles. Kind of makes me want ice cream.
That guy, this guy makes you want ice cream.
Yeah.
Like you
see the eyeballs.
You see this guy, and you're like, yeah, I need to hit up some Ben and Jerry's.
Or like a cupcake or anything to put sprinkles on, and I would share it with them. They seem like good people.
There's that
So, like,
circular lake. I thought the video that we got of those little thing
really
was
good.
the little
Yeah.
video came out really good. I was surprised how nice it looked. Yeah, and I swam. I don't know if that's in the middle or whatever, but I swam all the way out to the thing. I do kind of remember you being a little freaked out.
Yeah, I don't. If I basically just put something in my head about some little weird creature, I'm done.
Are you afraid of lakes? Swimming in them?
I'm a little freaked out by what's in the water.
But you're not afraid of oceans?
No, I'm also started to get weirded out by that too.
Okay.
Yeah. No, there's even the ocean is just a big fucking lake with way bigger animals, and it's not like I'm sitting over here going, "Gosh, there's definitely going to be a shark attack on this beach," and now I'm like, I'm gonna step on something that like
Shark
ends
birds.
up killing me,
Yeah.
or there's a jellyfish that's gonna like
Jellyfish your legs?
do bad things. And like then I start thinking about how everything just pisses in the ocean. I'm just like, why am I getting in here?
This little shrimp. You got a bro.
This is the beginnings of the toe problems.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Should I zoom in then?
Yeah, why would we do that? Yeah, you can see over to the right, like all that pink.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just looking at him.
Yeah.
Dragonfly. So somebody said those dead things that were like,
Zoom in on his sprinkles.
somebody said that was a dragonfly thing. I wonder if this is the same thing. Somebody's eating Ben and Jerry's right now. Wow.
Put some sprinkles on. Who has sprinkles at home?
I don't have sprinkles at home.
I don't think we have it. I have sprinkles.
Wow, you're hiding sprinkles.
Whoa, those colors are cool.
I don't know why. I think I might have put this picture in here by accident.
It's a picture of us.
Yeah. Well, I picked them out earlier today, and I don't know why I picked this one. I might have clicked it wrong because I don't. I'm glad I did because you said it looked cool,
Yeah.
but just a lake,
That's apparently the way to the lake.
probably.
I
Okay.
like when you have to go through small things.
So this is a thing that was going on. A lot of people at the time in this area didn't have electricity or refrigeration, or electricity and or refrigeration. So this guy's got a block of ice, and they would load up the ice from different like the ice distribution center, and the ice guy would drive it around. He's got another one between his legs. He would drive these blocks of ice. And he's an ice delivery guy, just like a big block of ice.
I never noticed the between the leg ice.
Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of these guys scooting around delivering ice.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then we're back to the passport. Oh, look, it's not blurred. I guess it's not. Oh, well. Whatever. That's an old passport. Somehow I fucked that up. I guess I exported it twice or something. And then that's Katie walking across the border.
Mm-hmm.
And that wraps up all the pictures.
Yep, that was a 1.
Yeah, that was intense. So next week we're going to be back into like the more like normal vibe of the videos, because we're going to be doing some exploring of some of the cooler things in Cambodia that are like the happy, fun time stuffs. And I think next week we'll probably also watch our third and final visit on that trip to Bangkok. Because I think that the videos are all kind of short. So then after that, so that'll be next week. And then after that, we'll be jumping north into Hong Kong. That was like a big jump we made.
It's not worth your time.
It's nice that it's been taken care of already. Thanks, Al. Was this the most intense part of the trip?
It depends. It's a intense part of the trip, because like seeing what other people go through and ingesting that has an intensity, but having things happen directly to you can also have an intensity.
It's like a different, like absolutely a different thing. It's hard. Was it? I guess was it the most horrific like thing we went and visited? Probably, yeah. It's probably the most horrific thing I've ever visited.
Yes, yeah.
But I mean, we have been to other places that have been through really horrible shit as well. So it's not like that's the only thing. I mean, we've been to Hiroshima, Nagasaki. We've been to
I would
Eastern
say
Croatia.
the fact that it was left the way that it was is why it has
This extra
more depth to it than other places.
And not to like compare disasters or to compare atrocities.
Yeah,
It's
because
just,
like I sit here and I think about Hiroshima, and if like I somehow got transported into the days afterwards and you got to see that devastation and you're in the middle of it, there would be absolutely no comparison. But that doesn't exist because people had to rebuild, people had to move forward. Whereas with this, you can take that snapshot and exist within it to understand it. You can't do that with other situations.
yeah. But we will be going through the other stuff too as the videos progress.
Yeah, you need to be an adult to
Yeah,
have that
that's not a
understanding.
place for a child.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No.
I don't think a kid could appreciate it or understand it or comprehend it.
And if you did take them there, you might hurt them.
It would depend on the kid, and it would depend on their maturity level and their age. Like, what does a kid count? Like a 16-year-old, a mature 16-year-old could deal with that. Teenager could deal with that as long as they're not an idiot.
I'm thinking like 10 and under, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's wasted on them,
Probably.
or it's disturbing them.
They're going to like associate it with like horror movies and like cartoonify it. Do you know, like they're not going to know how to like turn that into real people. They're going to think about it the way they've seen like that, like the media has portrayed things, and it's just not going to hit right. I can't imagine. But yeah. Anyway, okay.
Good night, guys.